Hello guys. Today I will talk about the 24 learnings of the 2024 year as we approaching the year end. Angular introduced lots of things. They introduced the new version, and they have introduced lots of features. I have listed all those features. And if you want to learn, if you want to build a career in Angular, these are very important to learn all those features of Angular. And means these I learned in 2024 already. Let's deep dive into like how we can create a successful application with our with Angular. Okay, let's talk about. Here I listed out all the features. So if you want to see the additional information on any feature, you can check the video on my channel. So here is my channel link. So if you can check this channel, and yeah, you will find out about more videos on Angular. And I have created lots of features, videos, projects on Angular. So if you want to learn this, you can go to this app, go to this site, this channel. Let's deep dive into like what are the good learnings of the Angular. So now if you see here, first is ng optimized image. So this is basically an additional attribute you can add in your image element. So if you use image tag in your project, then it is a good addition, and means it will improve the performance. And next is keyframes. So keyframes is basically if you want to add any animation to your any element. So yeah, in that case you can use keyframes. So format for using this is, yeah, means if you go to the video and check, so you will find the proper code how you can integrate keyframes in your project, how you can animate any element. Next is environment injector. Third thing is environment injector. So what this thing is basically, so it is basically used to add the additional logic. It is basically creating an environment. So if you want to add initialization logic in your application, so in that case you can use this environment injector. It has like it enhances the structure, maintainability, performance of Angular application. So yeah, this is a new addition. So means if you want to like what are the benefits of this injector is like what it do. So it initialize it, you can add initialization logic, you can decouple, means you can decouple logic from the application. So as we know in Angular we work with the modules. So before loading the module, if you want to do anything, so yeah, you can add that initialize logic in that, in like if you want to initialize the environment, something kind of. So it basically enhanced testability, dependency management, lazy loading, configuration, consistent starter process, and initializer ensures that your logic runs consistent across different parts, custom behavior for different environments. So yeah, these are lots of benefits of using the environment injector. So yeah, you will find the video, and how you can implement that in your main module. Next is animation. So animation, yeah, you can use animation, and means yeah, if you want to reuse any you can use so if you want to reuse any animation, then you can use, in that case, use animation. And next is transition. So as we know, means we have transition in the CSS. So yeah, means we can add those transition in our Angular app also, like here, like we have leave transition, and we have different other transitions also. So here I added a one few points to remember if you are integrated leave transition in your project. So this is my learning, great learning, like if the was triggered when element being removed from the DOM. So means sometimes we have the relationship between the parent child component. So means if you want to if you are removing any code, so carefully remove those code. And means before removing that, you must ensure that child elements can animate out. It's important to manage the visibility of parent element carefully. If you want to the child to animate out before element is removed, you can control visibility. So yeah, before removing this leave transition, so you can use this thing. And yeah, you can check it on my video, like how we can implement this with the help of any animation, and how we can use these kind of leave and enter transition in your project. Next is service workers. So service workers is basically used to enable the push notifications. So if you see here, what are the benefits? So these are benefits like of service worker if you are implementing. So like you can use service worker for push notifications, for offline capabilities, background syncing, improve performance, interception of network request, enhance user experience. So yeah, there are lots of ways. Means you can. Mean this is kind of we are making progressive web app. So yeah, with the help of service worker, it is possible. So yeah, it is a great feature, and you can. But it will take time to implement service worker. So yeah, means you will analyze that thing also. Next is untyped reactive form. So yeah, means they in the new version they introduced this utility. So means yeah, there is, if you don't know the type of any control, then yeah, in that case you can use this untyped form group, untyped form control classes. So these are very beneficial sometimes when you don't know it. So instead of using the any type, yeah, you can use this untyped. And if you work, next is local data. So if you are working with any uh, multilingual app, so yeah, if you want to localize, if you want to find the local data, so yeah, and enable the localization, so yeah, in that case you can use this command. And next is provider property on directive. So as we know, in the directive we use the directive. So the directives, you can configure the parameter. So like what is it injector? So injector is responsible for creating and managing lifecycle of instance for dependency that are specific to particular dominant where directive is applied. When you define providers and directives, the services will be available only when the scope of directive and child element allowing for fine grained control. So yeah, means, and then the directive you can use a private property to configure the properties. And if you're using reactive forms, in the reactive forms, what we have in the reactive forms, we have like these basically, like we have two types of form, reactive and template form. So reactive forms are basically very good approach to add in our application. So means they are explicit and they're immutable, means they cannot be changed. So it is preferable to use reactive forms. Means we use template driven form also, but for the complex form we generally use this reactive forms. Next is template driven form. So in this template driven form, what we have, like if you want to add any validation thing, and like what are the status values in template driven form, so the framework respond like, so like if you change any value, so what status it will give, so it will give us this status: valid, invalid, pending, disabled. So yeah, you can find out the status of that control, and you can you can add your functionality accordingly. And next is validations error. And next we talk about asynchronous validator. So what these asynchronous validators are, so means in a template type form in Angular, you can create custom directive that implement the ng async validate token. So what are the steps to create async validate token? So yeah, means you can use it, you can create a new directive and inject the service to them from the async validation. So like this is just only for the template level form, not for the reactive form. So in the reactive form, you can use the many utilities and of the Angular, and you can add the validations easily. But if you want to add vectors in the reactive form, so yeah, you can use this approach. Next is I80 extracted I89. So you can find this property in the Angular JSON file. So if you're working in any multilingual app, so and you want to utilize and you want to format the data for particular country, so yeah, you can define the format there, and you can extract the language and all those things. And yeah, all configurations you can do here. Next is API call testing. So if you're doing API call testing in a Angular, like we use Jasmine Karma in our Angular framework, so yeah, you can use this STD testing controller to test those APIs, and like they will basically verify those requests, and yeah, it will show code coverage in your project. And next is getter. We can, if you want to get value in a dynamic form, dynamic form is basically we do not know that its control is available at that time or not. So in that case, yeah, how we can achieve that getter in the dynamic form? So using getter in dynamic form, especially in Angular, is a common interface. So one of which provide access to form arrays. So yeah, means if you want to add getter in your application, so you need to use the form array. So yeah, I created a video on the Angular form. So yeah, you will learn more about like what are these form arrays, and like it simplify access to form controls, it improve readability, and means you can easily access dynamic properties with the getter. So yeah, this is all about getter. Next is shield worker object. to start share worker in Angular, after creating it share worker, so you call the start method on the port of the worker. So the shared worker basically, like as we use web worker application for the heavy computation. So yeah, means you can create a shared worker also, so that and how you can start those shared worker. Next is services in Angular. So as we like, if you want to lazy load any service and if you want to use that in the component, so in the services we have provided in, so generally we define the root property in that. But if you define the any, what it do is basically this allow Angular to create a new instance service for each lazy loaded module that injects it. So yeah, you can like it will create a multiple instance and you can use it easily. So what are the benefits of using this provided in any? So it the encapsulation and memory management. And next is like this is just a simple tip to, like if you are working with the animation to so what you can do, so to implement user animation angular, you can create a tab, you can create a separate TypeScript file for animation and declare them as a exported constant. So yeah, means with that you can reuse it the animation throughout the application. The approach promotes code animation usability across different components. Next is host. Like this is the new decorator. Like you can use decorator allows a component to look the service provider in host injector. So yeah, you can use host a decorator also. Next is language local unique local ID. So to manually set the runtime local in Angular, you would search for. So yeah, this is Angular utility. So if you want to find out the local ID, so in that case you can, what you can do, you can go to this directory and find out. So here I added the step like how you can find out, like navigate directory, check every local files. Like if your application is written in French and Spanish, so you will find out those files, and there you will find out the what is the local ID of that, so that you can go ahead with other languages, or if you want to modify anything, so you can go with that. And next is so in the like the this is a new learning, like in the directives they also introduced, like you can use the life cycles in that also in the directives also. And next is they introduce the GraphQL support. So as we know, we have APIs and we have another thing which is great to get any data. So yeah, they added the GraphQL support also. And they have done the improve, like in the 2004 they have done the improvement in the IV. So IV renders, so they have introduced initially it was introduced in Angular 9, but now they have introduced lots of improvements in the IV, and you will find out like it will improve the performance using the tree shaking and reduce build size. So yeah, you can deep dive into the IV environments also. And next is like they have done the cloud integration to offers improved integration services, facilitate the development of cloud native applications. So yeah, means you can deep dive into these features and you will definitely get like good understanding of Angular, and you will definitely improve the performance of your application. So that's enough for today, guys. So thanks guys for watching, and yeah, do subscribe and yeah, and learn each specific feature in my separate videos. Yeah, thanks guys for watching.